Low-rise jeans. And just when I came to really appreciate them, bam, women all jumped to high-waisted jeans out of nowhere. What was sexy 10 years ago but isn't now? No way, this is insane. My boy is back to watch another storytime from Alien Radio. Welcome back. Hope you doing alright, bro. Bros gotta support each other. You can support us by annihilating that like button. If you do, I'll send you a Lana Rhodes fleshlight. No more games, let's start the stories. Concealer lips, orange foundation, and a heavy-handed black eyeliner look. Fake tan? I think every time I go out, not so often, but anyways, I seem to see less and less orange ladies. 10 years ago was when the Jersey Shore was big. I would say a ton of things from that, like the fashion, hair, GTL, and the fist pump. I remember seeing so much Ed Hardy around when that show was popular. Just posted this to nostalgia, but keyboard phones. I remember being able to swipe my entire keyboard across my phone and typing away, making it look cool like I was in the Matrix or something. Not anymore. My hairline, damn, 10 years makes a difference. I feel ya, man. I have a widow's peak now, despite never having one previously, because I'm receding on the sides, but not the center. It doesn't look terrible per se, it's just unsettling when you look in the mirror, and it's not what you've seen for a quarter-century yak, no? Weird emo haircuts, pretending like you cut yourself to be edgy, Evanescence, the first Android phone lol. Edit. To those of you saying we're not talking about 20 years ago, this is all crap. People around me were super into late 2009, early 2010. Also to the people sharing your emo stories from back then, thank you. There is some good crap in my inbox. TiVo. It was amazing that you could record 45 hours of HD content directly to a hard drive in your living room. Their stock price hit over $50 a share. Now streaming has replaced local storage, and 45 hours of content seems laughably small. That's not even enough for one good show. And after being acquired in 2016, the combined company is worth less than $8 per share. Using the word sexy in marketing digital teams to describe sleek interfaces or products. The time when the phrase sleek, sexy exterior stopped being used in advertising for cars and laptops directly coincided with the time when advertisers started realizing that there were people that actually get turned on by varying degrees of anthropomorphized cars and laptops. To me, personally, artsy boys in skinny jeans who are deeply tormented souls who the rest of the world just doesn't understand. No lie, I once, unironically, swooned when a boy, unironically, used the line, "I just have to keep creating, or I'll die." Now I just want a regular guy or girl who wants to laugh while ducking and go out to get a burrito afterwards. Not before. Never before. Performative sexiness is way less sexy than an effortless connection. I am happy to leave the artsy boys to the next generation. Skinny eyebrows. As long as they are not taking it too far into the extreme, with thick, overdrawn Groucho eyebrows. Beauty is cyclical, thin eyebrows will be back eventually. It happens every 25 or so years. Girls in the 70s had thin brows, Clara Bow and other silent film stars 100 years ago had thin brows. But yeah, I agree that it looks weird at this point in time. When I was in high school, there was one year where every girl at my school suddenly started wearing a feather in their hair. Did anyone else experience this, or was my high school weird? This was huge at my school in the spring. So when we came back to school after summer break, no one had theirs anymore, and it was totally uncool. One of my teachers didn't get the memo that it was over, and she came to school with hers in on the first day, and everyone talked about it. I still feel bad, lol. Google Plus could have been decent if they had released it at a similar time as Facebook. But Facebook dominated social media by the time they even thought of Google Plus. Google really blew the launch there. Google Plus was launched right around one of the very many times when Facebook did something stupid that pissed everyone off. A handful of people started posting, "Well, duck this, I'm just going to Google Plus now. See y'all there," posts linked to profile. And Google, rather than just saying "come on over here, you'll love it, it's great," allowed the platform to remain in closed beta. You had to have an invite to get there, and they were stingy with them. The buzz died down, People stopped talking about it, and everyone went back to Facebook. Had Google capitalized on the anti-Facebook sentiment at the time, things might have been different. By the time Google Plus was openly allowing signups, its time had passed and it looked like a fad. Eventually it faded out. Tila Tequila. Now she is a literal Nazi. Not the "I don't like this person so they're a Nazi," but an actual "there are only two things in this world for which I would gladly sacrifice my own life. The destruction of all Jews and preservation of the white race." Nazi. Yes, that is an actual Tila Tequila quote. Edit. Someone in the thread said she had a head injury. Looking into it, it looks like she did have some brain injuries after outing. I feel like women's casual wear in general is always sexier than it was 10 years ago, and it's starting to make me feel old. I imagine when I'm old I'm going to comment on some lady's outfit being really revealing, and my grandkids are going to roll their eyes and say something like, "You're so old-fashioned, Grandpa, her asshole isn't even open." I'm 40. I've been practicing and teaching yoga for many years. 10 years ago, women were shamed for wearing leggings because they were too revealing. If you all saw what passes as appropriate yoga attire now, you'd pass out. It's basically a competition to see who can wear the least clothing. It cracks me up though yoga is sweaty and long pants can dramatically help manage the sweat. There are plenty of arm balances that I can only do in slightly damp pants because they provide more grip. Sweaty skin on sweaty skin is a slip and slide. Just impractical and silly. Plus good quality material actually keeps you drier and more comfortable. I'm old. 18-year-olds. I just like people my own age. I was at the university recently and instead of checking out all the 18 to 22-year-old girls and finding them hot, they all just looked like children. I work at a state college and most of the 18 to 22-year-olds look like kids to me. I'm 31. Even the ones that seem traditionally attractive, you can still tell they're young by the way they carry themselves when you've interacted with them enough, and it negates any hotness IMO. I worked at a university from the age of 24 to 35. I remember it being a gradual process where one fall nearly all of the incoming freshmen looked like kids to me, but the older students still looked grown, and then within a year nearly all of the female students started looking like kids as well. Like you said, it was as much about how they carried themselves as how they physically looked, but once I started to notice it, it slowly became all that I could see. I only point this gradual but relatively rapid process out to contrast with how suddenly I went from feeling like I was still in with that generation to feeling forever old. The first time an attractive co-ed looked at me with sudden smile on her face and then walked straight towards me from down the hall and said, "Excuse me sir, could you tell me where to find my faculty advisor's office?" The look on her face had been the type of thing that in another setting I would have thought, "This girl is into me." But instead was the look of a worried child relieved to have found a grown-up for help. I don't think I've felt young since. Throwaway time for the controversial incest porn. Hear me out. The reason incest porn grew in popularity, and I associate this primarily with literotica.com, but it is a wider phenomenon, but the reason for the popularity was not people having an incest fetish. It's a truism on Literotica, at least, that the draw of incest porn for the most part was that it was the only kind of erotica that compelled the author to lay out a backstory, to build tension slowly, to cultivate a plausible circumstance where the tension reaches a breaking point, and then bang. So like, let's say the reader wants to read a BDSM-themed story about an athlete-personal trainer relationship. If you search the BDSM category for athlete-personal trainer, you open up a story at random, it'll probably start, "So I met my personal trainer, and she's got me tied to the massage table, and I'm begging her to lick my bobs." Total bull crap. So then you search the incest taboo category for keywords, BDSM athlete personal trainer, and open one of the results, and it'll be like, "I used to hate how my sister acted toward me with a mixture of disdain and sympathy. But ever since I got distracted on the balance beam and broke my ankle, I feel like I deserve it." Bang. Chances are much better that this story is well written, humane, slow build, well, sexy. So for most people, it was never about the incest. But thing was, this was kind of exclusive to erotic lit, with a subcategory for a small number of movies. And now, there is a ton of perfunctory step incest porn online, videos, which are totally lacking in tension and are stupid, an attempt to normalize incest in the grossest and most socially deleterious way you could imagine. Even on Literotica, you see more and more stories that begin, "So I met my stepdad's, and he's got me tied to the massage table, and I'm begging him to lick my bobs." It sucks. Thanks for watching. What did you think of the story time? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any more story times.